Aesthetic Podcast. My name's Eric, and this is Randy.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about some tech today. We got Apple announces self-service repair. That's interesting.
No one expected that.
No one expected that. Not me, not anyone. Halo Infinite surprise multiplayer launch. Very exciting.
The best news, arguably.
Yeah. YouTube removing dislikes, and then we'll also talk about Nikon Z9 because I know your favorite. Cameras are your favorite topic.
Cameras are my favorite topic, man. Like cameras are just my favorite in general. Like, I want my job to revolve around me using a camera.
Yeah, no, I agree, dude. I like the whole workflow front and back, like taking it, setting up composition, the lighting, thinking about all the camera settings, and then
everything about it is
taking it into post-processing, doing the color grading, messing around in the editing. Like, it's just fun, dude. And then for photography,
it's almost
the same
like
thing.
therapy, right? Like, it's work, but like you also kind of like there's like that Zen nature of it, like where you're like trying to like be Kaizen and like and like you know like perfect your work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
true.
It's solid.
It's solid, dude. That's why I need to get you into Blender. It's got a lot of that same kind of thing.
Yeah, dude.
It does. You think about it from the front to the back, like just the same way. Composition, lighting, getting your subject just right. I mean, that's if you're doing like scene editing and stuff, right?
Sure.
Obviously, the modeling process is its own thing, but you could just rip other people's models and make a scene if you want. But anyway, let's start with our topic. Apple announces self-service repair. So I actually have their newsroom webpage open. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
So here it is. Basically, Apple parts, tools, and manuals starting with iPhone 12 and 13 available to individual consumers.
So does this just cover the iPhones, or does this extend through the whole product stack?
Great question. So they mentioned that it's going to start off first with the iPhone 12 and 13 lineups, and soon to be followed by Mac computers featuring M1 chips. Okay,
there we go.
Exactly.
iPads on there?
Well, good question, because this is Mac computers, but it doesn't mention iPad specifically. But I bet you eventually
iPad a computer, dude.
Oh my God! Well,
maybe
my God, maybe you're right. Maybe they consider the iPad with the M1 chip a computer.
Maybe.
Here's what I'll say, dude. This is very unexpected. Very exciting. I think that I can't wait to see Louis Rossman's reaction.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was like, what's it? All right. So first thought was Louis Rossman is probably gonna have a wet dream if he's not awake right now.
Yeah, I know.
And then my second thought was, I want some Apple branded tools, dude. Right? Like. I want like a nice like
Apple
white
iFixit toolkit,
like a white like T6 hex, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, that'd be amazing. I mean, I'd buy it. I already got the Apple microfiber cloth, on pre-order, dude.
Well, I think it released. I think that we were just late to the party. On that one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, where was that cloth in the keynote, dude? I wanted to see I don't know, like Craig come out and be like, "You've wiped before, but not like this."
Yeah. Oh my God, dude!
Today we're reinventing the wipe.
Yeah, yeah, dude. We had one word: courage. Courage made us want to wipe better. I only wipe my ass with Apple microfiber cloths, dude.
Well, that's why you have a bidet, so you can reuse your cloth.
That's right.
Soft touch.
Yeah, I only trust my cheeks to Apple. Sorry, to their microfiber technology. But yeah, dude, self-service repair, dude. So this is great, and it's funny because not too long ago, I know everyone was hating on them because in the new iPhones, if you replace the screen, I think Face ID stopped working.
Yeah, Face ID quit out.
I think what happened, and I don't have an update, I don't have it in front of me or anything, but I think they're rolling that back. I think that
I think I saw that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have full-on confirmation, but I think I saw as well that there were some third-party screen protectors that started working with but it's like iOS 15.2 or higher. So if you have a broken phone that's on 15.1 and you can't access, you probably have to update it through a Mac or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But it's just interesting that they would try and enforce this and then roll it back, and then now they're like, oh, we're going to offer schematics.
Wait a minute, dude. They gave us back ports. They made a thicker MacBook with better airflow that didn't thermal throttle. They're rolling back anti-consumer decisions. They're releasing schematics, and they're making a parts store. Are they listening to consumers, dude?
I don't know, man. It's almost as if they are. It's crazy.
Are they not telling us what we want anymore, dude?
Dude, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing with the new MacBooks is they rolled back so much of the things that people criticized. Yeah. You know, it all started with the chiclet keyboards that everyone hated, and then they rolled that back, and now we got ports.
Switch was not a good time.
Butterfly. Yeah, and it's funny because during I was checking out all my MacBooks that I have, and I have the what is it, the 12-inch MacBook,
12-inch MacBook,
and it's got those butterfly.
They're
keyboards.
Rough, man.
Yeah, they're just not good. They're just what's cool about them is they're like bigger. Like each key is like a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but it's a flat boy. There's like no travel on them.
Yeah,
like, I would
there's
rather,
no tactility.
I would rather the travel of the Magic Keyboard than the wide boy.
Yeah, no, Butterfly. For sure. No, I agree, dude. It was a cool idea, but it just wasn't good. But yeah, dude, this is a very interesting move. I like to see it because, I was even talking to some of my friends recently, and, they're all on the Apple hate train. They're like, hey, guys, look at their anti-consumer practices.
Yeah, but like, what a company is pro-consumer from that regard, right? Like, what company is like, you know what,
No major one. No major one. Like other than say framework, but like that doesn't really count.
What's their argument? Like what's their barometer? Like what device are they using that's so you know what I mean? Like
I don't know, guys. Like they're just as far as my friends are concerned, like they're just like I think they're just hyped up in the Apple hate. I think it's really because like they're gamers, right? And gamers don't really buy Macs if they're buying their machines to game. You know what I mean? So like for example, you want to build something with like a 3080 or something, a desktop PC. Like most of my gamers that are PC, most of my friends that are PC gamers, they're going to custom build their PCs. I don't know anyone among my friends that doesn't have like a built PC. So, and as a result, like they don't really touch Macs ever. Like, how is it in your friend group?
That's kind of the case. Most of my friends have actually. I probably have built, but most of my friends' computers.
Same here. Yeah.
I
More or
built
less,
Calvin's,
not really.
I helped Paul with his. I built Casey's. I built Calvin's wife's. However, I do have some friends who didn't approach me and just went out and bought a pre-built.
Okay.
And this was even before the part shortage, right? Like,
yeah, it's almost like now with the part shortage, like it's kind of viable. Yeah.
But like this particular person, just kind of came home one day and was like, yo, I got a computer. Let's play some computer games. I'm like, what'd you get? And they're like, I got an HP Omen. And they paid like $1,600 for something with like a 1650 Ti in it. And I'm like, oh, why didn't you talk to me, bud? He's like, I don't know. I saw it and I wanted it. I was like, all right, that's fair. But like, I think what we're getting at is like, no one is really looking at Mac just because they probably are buying a home PC for gaming, right? Like, if you're in that space, like you're looking at something that runs Windows. So
yeah, you know what's? I'll say this. Like, here's the thing. To me, I know everyone's criticized Apple for this, like their anti-consumer stuff, like, oh, this, they don't, but like nobody does that, right? Like if your MacBook breaks, you're going to have to RMA it. If my motherboard breaks, I'm going to have to RMA it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be real with you. Like, I'm the same way, dude. Like, if my iPad breaks right now, I mean, granted, I have Apple Care on it because it's my daily carry.
Even if you
it's not waterproof, right? I'm gonna have Apple fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Like I've done
I'm
that.
not gonna. Yeah.
And Apple's customer service with me, my experience with Apple has been good. Like I've had my iPhone messed up. Like I remember one time I had an iPhone that just wouldn't charge anymore.
Sure.
And I'd put my charger in the Thunderbolt. It just wouldn't do nothing.
Sure.
And so I took it in, and they swapped my phone out like right then. Like I had a backup, so I was like, dude, like it's messed up, and they swapped me. And that was excellent. Like that was great. I was like, okay, cool. And that was painless, but like with anyone else, like I've RMA'd motherboards, I've RMA'd like graphics cards, and it hasn't always been seamless. Like if sometimes it is. EVGA has been cool. Like I've done advanced RMA with them where they'll send you a card and you got to send the broken one back. You know what I mean? So that's like the best case scenario you're going to get with like a broken product.
I've had an okay experience with EVGA.
Right.
That was when my 2080 Ti artifacted, if you remember that last year.
Yeah.
The process definitely wasn't seamless. Like, they wanted me to basically do my own troubleshooting, which is fine for me, right? Like, it's fine for me. But like, if my mother called, she'd be like, what do you want me to do? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like that part, I was a little on, because like I'm kind of rating the customer experience as your average consumer, right? Like, not as someone who's innately tech savvy. But my experience with Apple, when I had to get my MacBook with the butterfly switches replaced twice, I mean, it was no muss, no fuss. You know, I just took it to the store. I mean, granted, it was gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I basically just said, they're like, all right. I basically just handed it to them, and then
exactly, the customer service is like good with them, right? Like, I get it. Like Lewis Rossman specifically, like he makes his living off of repairing MacBooks, it seems like. But like, how many like non-MacBooks is he getting in to fix?
Yeah.
Like, how many MSI laptops? How many like Razer Blades, Surface
I would
books?
say a lot.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I've seen some episodes where he gets like random stuff in.
I've never seen him like.
My organization actually sent him a MacBook.
Oh, really?
And that customer service experience was fantastic.
Okay, nice.
It literally was. Like, I got a response back from Rossman Repair Group within like 20 minutes of me putting in a support request.
Wow.
When we got the MacBook back, it was actually my boss's MacBook. And like, it was kind of dirty, like, for lack of a better term. Like, it was loved on. We got this thing back, dude. It was like brand new.
Wow.
Like they went above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like, they not only fixed the board level issue, but they also gave it back to me in a state that was far better than it was when I gave it to them. It was packed up nicely. It was packed up securely, and there was even a little sticker on there of what our of what Rossman Repair Group did the repair, and then which one inspected it, because they don't inspect their own work.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So wow. I was thoroughly impressed with them from a customer service standpoint. I mean, they were a little pricey. It was $450 for a board level repair.
Right.
But I mean, what else was I supposed to do in that situation for a $3,000 MacBook that's out of warranty?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's true. And if Apple's not going to fix it, then, or, you know, because often, I don't know, does Apple do out of warranty repairs, or do they just refuse?
They do, but they charge you.
Yeah, probably quite a bit. Right?
Yeah,
like,
like, for example,
get a new MacBook.
I think a good example is when I got my butterfly switches repaired, they send you a zeroed out invoice. So like, they send you how much it would cost, like, if you went to them to pay for it.
Right.
And this may be getting down the weeds a little bit, but like, when with the older style MacBooks, like the generation that just went out, so like M1 13 2020 and back to 2016, if you need to replace a keyboard, that's an entire top case replacement. And the top case is basically the device that holds the motherboard and holds the touch bar. So you have to get a whole new touch bar.
That's a lot.
A whole new top case, a whole new display controller, that because it gets glued into the top of that. So just to replace the keyboard, it's a full top case replacement. So in my case, it was like $1,100 to get the keyboard replaced.
Oh my God.
But like I said, dude, they zeroed it out, right? But like, that's how much it would have been if it was not under warranty. And I can almost guarantee that probably Rossman Repair Group would not have been $1,100 if they could have even fixed it.
Not even close.
But
I think that
I don't know if they could have sourced a new keyboard. So that would have I probably would have gotten a donor board. You know what I mean? So
that's another thing, is like, because there's so many MacBooks out there, like, they have a ton of donor boards, right?
Yeah.
So like, if somebody comes up, like if I had my Razer Blade die or something and gave it to them, they'd be like, dude, I can't. Like, the best they could do is maybe go on eBay and try to find a partially working one and buy it. But then I'd have to front the bill for that or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's probably best case. Like, my dad did board level repairs to a degree.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, he owned his own little computer business, and it was just a mom and pop, kind of like, he was the only one there, but he did have like an actual a business that you could go to, and,
sure.
And brick and mortar. He would sell computers. He would do house calls, and like, a lot of times he would do board level repair, and he would just go on eBay and buy the boards and then just do part swaps, or if he could do board level repair, he would do it. So that's basically the best you could do if you didn't have donor boards, right?
Yeah. So that kind of raises like another question now. Are you going to have to go through some like authorized Apple repair program to get access to these schematics? Or could like UI or our listeners just go to like, I don't know, like repair.apple.com or whatever it is. That's not the URL. I'm just making one up and be like, oh, let's download this iPhone 13 schematic for funsies. Because, you know, I'm already thinking like, man, that would be pretty fun to like just print out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me tell you what they're going to do. So they're going to have something. They said that, okay, customers will place an order for the Apple genuine parts and tools using the Apple self-service repair online store. So you'll be able to go onto their store and actually buy genuine products. Anybody can do it.
They don't have to be in some sort of authorized repair program or anything. Any person.
Nope. All they say is it's important they first review the repair manual. That way you
the repair manual
for safety.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think anybody will be able to do it.
Okay.
From the impressions I'm reading here.
All right.
It just says product owners can do their own repairs themselves. That's what it's saying.
So this is really interesting to me, right? Because like I've always thought about this, and like maybe you can speak to it, or maybe our viewers are also concerned about this, or have thought about this. If you own like an iPhone, I forget what it is, like 7 onward, but for the sake of this argument, because it's the 12 and 13, let's assume that it's an iPhone 12 or 13, okay?
Right.
And you crack your screen, and then you do a screen repair. What happens to that water rating? Okay.
Yeah, it's probably gone.
It's probably gone, right?
It's
exactly.
Probably gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then what happens if you have Apple Care and you decide to do your own replacement?
So that's a great question. I'd assume that if you have Apple Care, you're not going to do this, right?
Okay.
Like you're probably going to go
through Apple Care.
You're probably going to go through Apple Care. I'd say you're going to go through this if you don't have Apple Care and your product breaks, and Apple maybe doesn't want to charge you, or you don't want to pay Apple the repair costs.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like maybe you want to do it yourself, but or you're out of warranty. Maybe that's the only two really scenarios where you do this. What do you think?
So you're thinking that if you're still under warranty and you do a self repair,
right,
then they no longer honor that warranty.
Well, you know, this is an interesting thing because legally, I don't know. That's kind of a gray area, right? Like it's been ruled that like those
stickers over screws.
Yeah, those stickers over screws that say, you know, this voids your warranty aren't
They don't
valid.
hold up in the U.S., but I believe they hold up in the UK.
If that's the case, then, you know, in the U.S. for our little discussion,
I'm uncertain about Canada, though, just in case we have any listeners.
Yeah.
Here, not from America. Yeah, but that's interesting to me, right? Like that's super interesting because I feel like that I could potentially see this opening up like issues for Apple in terms of like warranty repair and stuff. Like because now you're going to have people who say who may attempt repair and then say my charge port's not working anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely risky, but I think that Apple's rich enough to where they probably can get away with it, right? Like
I guess
they probably
what I'm getting
could eat the extra cost.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, and I'm wondering if like it's going to affect their customer service.
I'm unsure. I'm sure it will in some
you know what I mean? Like,
regard.
Like because like right now I feel like you hear success stories on Reddit of people who are like went into the Apple store with my out of warranty phone and they were nice enough to replace it. You know, like you see stories like that on the Apple subreddit quite frequently.
Yeah.
And are we going to not see those anymore because they're going to be afraid that someone self-tampered with it to get a new phone? I don't know.
I don't know either. I think that this is the right move though.
I think it is the right move too, but it'll be interesting to see, you know, what unfurls after the fact.
You know, a lot of people are thinking that the parts cost it will be very high for genuine parts.
Oh, I could see that.
So that's kind of offsetting the expense that they'll have to incur by honoring the warranties and stuff for people that self-repair their products, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, that's kind of one way to look at it. I'm not sure. But they'll probably be pretty pricey straight from Apple.
And the parts store is not open yet. Is that correct in my statement?
Well, I don't see it, so.
Okay.
Yeah. They only have like a little newsroom article telling their intent. And that's all they have right now. But I'm really looking forward to see it come out. I want to see how much these parts are going to cost. We'll talk about it on Technosthetic when
I'm sure we will
when the store comes up.
I'm sure that if we could buy the tool separately, we may even get some in just to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to.
Yeah,
you know,
like if Apple came out with like their own toolkit, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
I wonder how much they'll sell, right, of the phone. Like they'll probably sell most things, screens, common things, right? Screens, maybe back glass.
Back glass is tough though. Back glass is almost near impossible to replace on the new phones.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's why I like a back glass replacement. Like, look up the screen replacement cost. Like, a back glass is like $560. So, like, I'm gonna show my inner nerd here. If you've ever watched like those like Smarter Every Day, maybe it was, or like one of those videos where like they've basically shown off that because back glass on phones, not just Apple products, but like phones in general, has become like so integral to like the housing and the structure and the framing of a phone or whatnot.
Right.
That it's cheaper for people to like repair centers to invest in as essentially this like laser that blasts away a cracked back screen.
Yeah, I love that. I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah. But that's because the cost to replace it traditionally is so absurdly high.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so the back glass, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to repair these phones. To this day,
it's already very difficult to get into an iPhone and not damage the front element or even the cable, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
no, for sure. Like, I haven't taken the plunge yet.
I watch a lot of like teardown videos. Again, you know, showing my inner nerd, but that display connector, if you guys remember on the iPhone 10 that came out, when like one of their biggest feats, I guess you could say, or like moments of like that they wanted to show off, was like there was no chin on the phone, right? And they do that by basically curling the display over. Remember those videos of like the curled over end of the display?
Right.
So they have a place to attach a connector that's not on the bottom.
Yeah.
That connector is apparently crazy delicate.
Yeah. I believe it, dude. They're probably like the thinnest, tiniest thing ever. And that's why I haven't even bothered to like try repair a phone. Laptops all day, dude. I'll tear into a laptop, but like a phone just is too small. You know, I bet I could do it. I think the problem with me is like having to heat it up. Heat gun, heat pads, glue.
Heating it up is an issue. Excuse me. Glue separation is definitely an issue.
Yeah, there's just like a ton of glue in these things.
But
you know,
at the same time, I really don't want to lose my water rating. You know what I mean?
That too. That's another reason.
So like, I think that like I have I mean, full disclosure, I don't really buy Apple Care on my phones just because I kind of case them, right? And I put a screen protector on them, and they're always in my pocket. What I do buy Apple Care on, though, is my MacBook and my iPad, because that is the polar opposite of that, right? Like,
yeah.
And plus my phone is waterproof. So if I spill something on my iPad, it's dead, but Apple Care covers that. If I spill something liquid on my MacBook, it's dead, but Apple Care covers that. So that's kind of like my justification for warranty.
That's fair.
But I would be afraid to lose the waterproofing. So I think that like in the event that like, granted, you know, knock on wood, in my entire time of owning a smartphone, I've never cracked a phone screen.
Right.
I think if I did, I would just suck it up and have Apple do it. So I would retain, you know, factory spec, I guess is what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. Yeah, I know exactly. Like, I'm sure that you could do a self repair and still kind of retain that, but you'd have to really think about like the gasket and like
the gasket placement is key. Like from my understanding, like there is third party gaskets. Like I think I saw Jerry Rig Everything do one on an Android phone, and like he was complaining about like how without like a cobot or a machine to properly align it, he's not going to get it right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a valid criticism of like self repair for these phones. You don't want to compromise that water rating if you care about water resistance, and I really do.
I do too. Like I said, like that's kind of like a key decider of why I don't get Apple Care on my phone, because like I said, you know, I have a screen protector on it. I case it. I'm probably gonna be okay on the phone.
Yeah.
But also, if I spill something on the phone, I know I have that IP68 resistance, whereas I don't have that on the iPad. It does makes a huge difference in confidence.
Exactly.
Like, that was kind of like my mental thinking with the Z Fold 2, right? Was like, I feel like I can't put this phone down on the bar. I can't leave it on the table when I'm out to dinner. I always have to keep it in my pocket.
That's why the iPad needs it, dude.
I've been saying that for years, dude. I've been saying that for years. Like a waterproof iPad. I mean, like, if they can waterproof the Z Fold, there's no reason why they can't waterproof the iPad.
At least, yeah, the iPad Mini at least, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on, give it to me.
If the iPad Mini had waterproofing, I would probably get it.
Yeah, it'd be that.
I want it now, but like I would probably use it as my main tablet.
Yeah, for sure. Waterproofing is pretty, like, once you have it, you don't want to lose it. So
exactly right. Exactly right.
Anyway, dude, so that's been Apple Repair. Excited for it. I think that it's going to be cool. We'll cover it more once more information comes out. And once the store comes out, of course, we're going to cover it. But in the meantime, I think we ought to move on to Halo Infinite surprise multiplayer launch, dude. 2 days ago, right?
Dude.
So
what's it here? Yeah, the 15th, man. Wow,
dude. Wow, it's been time flies, dude.
Well, we've been playing it almost nonstop.
Yeah, so it's been good, but I know you want to talk about the criticisms. But before we do, dude,
can I tell you something really quick before we talk about the criticisms? This is the first time ever that I've tweeted from my account, so you know I'm passionate and serious about the issue.
Oh my god, dude, that's insane. So we'll get into that, dude. What did you tweet, dude? What did you tweet? Did you to the 343 or did you talk to
at Halo?
Okay,
is 343.
Okay. What was the tweet?
Let me pull it up.
Pull it up.
I actually got a notification that said, "Nice job. Your tweet is popular and getting noticed."
Oh my god!
Which,
dude.
whatever that means, and I can view my tweet activity, but it says at Halo, map design, TTK, and gunplay all feel fantastic. However, the progression system makes me not want to play. When you get stuck in a 4v4 and 3 of your teammates are challenge farming, the experience is ruined, and it doesn't matter how good the other elements of the game are. Please fix.
No, and I think they will. So, first, I want to acknowledge the fact that. The fact that they did this to begin with, released it early.
I want to. All right, go on.
I was just going to say, I want to acknowledge that. I just want to say, like that was a great play. I think to release it early, like they've had it done for a while, dude. They've just been polishing the rock. You know what I'm saying? For the past how long? So like, come on, dude. Release it early. Get the hype. You know what I mean? Capitalize on the hype.
I have some reserves on that. I feel like we're missing a lot of those game modes. I feel like we don't have zombie. We don't have SWAT.
Yeah.
Like SWAT is a core integral part of Halo to me. Like I love SWAT. I think SWAT's really good. We have, not going to step on the elephant in the room yet, but that's a core function of the game. That's not done. Clearly not done. But I do want to start off with positives first, if I can.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm kind of what some people would call not a smart human, and I pre-ordered Call of Duty Vanguard. I pre-ordered Battlefield 2042.
Okay.
And I've played the free beta for Halo. Which game do you think had the best actual technical experience of those three?
Halo.
By far.
Yeah.
By far. Vanguard was almost unplayable day one. Battlefield is still riddled with technical issues where people are clipping through the fields, where you can't get into games. The entire first day of the pre-launch for Battlefield, which is just for whales, right, dude? Like, it's just for people who bought the $100 version, which was myself. So only the whales were playing.
Yeah.
And the whales crashed the servers on day one.
Wow.
So day one was almost totally unplayable on Battlefield 2042, and there's still bugs that I encounter daily. Like I'm a big Battlefield fan. I mean, like I'm kind of like old guard when it comes to dice.
Yeah.
And just right off the top of my head, or like off the hop, like I tend to say sometimes. Glaring issues that the game still has is sometimes enemies are just invulnerable, which is a big problem, right? That's a huge problem. But like that's rare. So like I probably have about 40 hours in the game. I'm ranked 20. But the bigger problem for me is they got rid of classes and they went with this like Call of Duty hero system, or like Overwatch where you pick classes, which is fine, whatever.
Okay.
But none of the custom loadouts save. So no matter what you do, for me at least, and for a lot of people according to the subreddit, is like, so like let's say you play Operator A and like you don't want to use an assault rifle, like you want to use a marksman rifle and you want to take supply loadouts and stuff. Well, that never fucking saves, right?
Oh, that sucks.
So like literally every time you play the game, you just have default loadout again, and like no one wants to rebuild it every time. So my point for bringing up Battlefield is because I paid $100 to get into that beta.
Yeah,
and basically. I say beta even though it's an early release of a final game.
Right.
And Halo Infinite has been nothing but spectacular for me. Halo Infinite has run amazingly on my PC. It has run amazingly on my Xbox.
Right.
Eric and I have played across multiple platforms together with no issues finding a match, no issues connecting to servers or host migration or any problems that plague the Master Chief Collection. They don't exist, guys. They are. The game is technically solid.
It is. It is.
And I think you would kind of back that up. I will say, though, that if you have a computer and you run on high, my 3090 is pulling over 500 watts. Just for a little you know, context. If someone says, no 3090 pulls 500 watts. My 3090 is shunt modded, running Kingpin BIOS, marked for 2 3-pins. So my third 8-pin is always pulling 125 or 150 watts innately. That doesn't get reported.
That's nuts.
And I'm running around like 430 to 450 and NVIDIA Inspector. That's before you factor in the third unreported 8-pin. So I'm a little over 500 watts, and when I'm playing Halo, I have a 3900 XT and plugged into my UPS. I'm pulling close to 900 watts. So the game is a little power hungry, but it runs fantastic.
Yeah, I'd say like for the most part, I agree with you. I had issues where I had to update my drivers before I updated. It was bad. Updated, it was good. Then I have had the game crash a couple times.
I have not had a crash yet.
You know, it might just be my computer, my specific flavor of what I got going on over here, which is a lot of non-standard stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm always doing some weird shit.
You also like stream and stuff when you're playing too. So
it's true. It might be OBS doing some weird stuff like hooks into the game and like doing stuff with the GPU and everything. I get it. Like, so I wouldn't say that my experience is something that everyone's going to experience. But when the game is playing, like its matchmaking is so good. Like day one, like how many multiplayer big launches go so smoothly day one? Like it seems like not many nowadays.
Not many, bro. Not many at all.
Microsoft pulled it off. Like we had almost 300,000 players on Steam, and it was like a perfect experience. Even the first hour of the game coming out, I was able to download it and start playing immediately with no problems.
So, and just to give you an idea, I watched the Angry Joe review of Battlefield 2042, and he's pissed off about it.
Okay.
But like one of the things he mentioned in the review was that, you know, what's his name? Phil Spencer and like Larry Erb probably played Battlefield on the Xbox, and they saw the state it was in, and they're like, oh my god, we can release Infinite now.
Yeah, they were like, oh my god, dude, we're gonna get all those rebound gamers that are pissed off about like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Dude, let's hop on it. Geniuses, I gotta say.
And then Angry Joe Vargas did go on to say that he had like 38 hours on Battlefield 2042.
Right.
And his fun factor and experience in 2 games of Infinite was more memorable and more fun than all 40 hours in Battlefield.
Yes, dude. Dude, the Halo sandbox does not disappoint, dude. Halo is so fun. It's just fun. And it's for the hardcore, it's competitive too. Like it has a high skill ceiling, and it's just like an arcadey game when it wants to be. Like stupid, crazy stuff happens in the sandbox. It's great.
I think Halo strikes that really good balance of like easy to pick up but hard to master.
It does.
Know what I mean?
It does.
Like I can put the sticks in the hands of like Kelly, and like she's someone who's still like learning like how to move like the left stick and the right stick, you know, independently of one another. But like I can toss her in Griffball, and she loves Griffball. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And like Griffball is like a good way for her to get used to like looking around.
It is.
And using both sticks at once. But Griffball is simple enough, and it's the game mode in Halo that like still gives her that instant gratification of, hey, I may suck, but I still got to kill and help my team out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like Halo strikes that really good balance of I'm just, you know, like I'm just having a good time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or you can just get really, really competitive with it and like learn the little nuances, like learn the maps, learn the weapon spawns, learn where overshield spawns, learn where active camo spawns.
Exactly.
You know, like learn how many clips it takes you to get someone's shields down with X guns. Like there's a lot of meta in Halo that I don't think people give it enough credit for.
No, it's good. It's good. It's real good for competitive scene, and they support the competitive scene. I'm sorry, man. The MLG is real good.
Sorry, I'm just a big Halo fanboy, so sorry.
No, I mean, so am I, right? And we've kind of fanboyed enough. I think we want to get into the criticisms, which, just for the sake of this, for the sake of the viewers, the listeners out there, that if you're not familiar with it. The big criticism right now is the battle pass. So much like many of the games out there, Halo has introduced a battle pass, right? Like Halo Infinite's going to be a free-to-play game, and their monetization is going to revolve around selling you cosmetics and then selling you the battle passes when they come out. So the battle pass is supposed to be a way for free players to kind of progress, as well as if you pay for the battle pass, there's additional unlocks you get as you progress through it. So free players get some stuff, and then if you pay for the battle pass, you get additional stuff.
I mean,
it's pretty bad. Okay, first off, progression in the battle pass is very, very slow. Okay, for what they have you do, they present you with daily challenges and weekly challenges. The daily ones is basically complete matches. Am I right?
Yeah, the daily one is basically just complete matches, and every level is basically 1,000 XP.
Yeah.
So here's the problem with this, guys. Already, like just gonna toss it out there. You really are only guaranteed 100 match for completion. So you don't get a bonus for winning, and you still get points for losing.
Yeah.
So that really de-incentivizes you from trying to win, because you don't get anything extra for it.
No.
So the problem we're running into, and the problem a lot of people are running into, like, if you're in a Halo, you've probably seen the articles, and you're probably on the subreddit, is like you have people who will just challenge farm.
Farm. So yeah, basically they'll give you a challenge. I remember I had a challenge that was like kill so many people with the bulldog, which is a shotgun, So I had to find the shotgun. Then I had to kind of hide in a corner, wait for somebody to come by so I could fucking shoot them, right? Especially on a long range map.
Yeah.
So because they put me on that one big team battle map, and I know where the bulldog is. It's right in the middle of the map, but nobody's there. So sorry, it's a terrible spot to be, because you have a million really long sight lines. I'm not gonna kill you with a shotgun when you got an assault rifle or a BR. So I have to somehow get the bulldog. Then I have to go hide and try and get some cheese kills just to complete it. Took me way too many matches to complete that. I played 10 matches, and I never even got the bulldog, barely, right? You basically, if you want to complete your weeklies, because they basically say there's a special weekly unlock challenge. You have to complete all your weekly challenges to be able to do.
So let me ask you a question on that, because maybe you can teach me something. When you have to complete all of your weekly challenges, what happens if you swap them out? Are you just putting those off to a later date, or are you...
I don't know, but I'm hoping that it's just completely replace those ones, right?
So here's an interesting thought that I didn't think about, but someone brought up on the subreddit saying, I was like, wow, ain't that about a bitch? Because they're weekly challenges, right?
Yeah.
You can only have 3 active at a time, or 4 if you have the battle pass.
Okay.
So...
Is that a thing? What the hell?
Yeah. If you buy the premium battle pass, you can unlock a 4th weekly challenge at a time. Because here's where the problem comes in. Okay, so he said that he got a challenge to, and it escapes me what it was, but it's basically hijack a vehicle 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, which is kind of hard to do.
That's
One
hard.
hijack makes you feel pretty good.
Right.
Well, he said that, and over the course of his 2 days playing, he got 2 hijacks. And then he didn't have the weekly, but he just got the weekly. And then those 2 that he got for this week didn't count.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't active already in his battle pass.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that you have these in reserve, these weekly challenges, and you don't get them until you have to clear the ones that are already there, and then they pop in.
Yeah.
So you can only work on the active
guys.
ones, which I think is a huge shame. So it's
I agree.
I think the community as a whole, if you look at the Halo subreddit, if you look at Twitter, people are very critical about the battle pass, about the progression system, about missing game modes.
I think people also want just a passive progression system like every Halo had. People have given that feedback since the first flight.
Right.
Like literally that has been number one on the feedback list was, hey guys, we like the passive progression. I know it's fickle. I know it doesn't matter, but we like it. Please put it in. And they didn't. And then they gave like this laissez-faire response about like how difficult it is to put that in and how challenging and like, well, it's bullshit on two reasons. One, because they got the fucking battle pass down pat. They got that part done. And two, they've had over 6 months of player feedback as that being the top requested feature, and they didn't get it done. And thirdly, the system they have in MCC collection is perfect. Yeah. They've already done it.
Yeah, I know. It's like you didn't have to make anything, dude. You already got it. You already got the formula down pat. You just got to freaking implement, dude. It's not that hard. And realistically, I'm sure it's work, but like they've had time.
I'm sure it's work.
They wanted to release this a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could have done it. So I don't really think that like, oh, it's too hard. We didn't have time. Bullshit, dude. You've had an extra year to work on this game. You've had plenty of feedback. You could have done it. And you know, and really the state of the game right now is it's not where I want it to be. I think that everybody can agree with that. Like we're all excited to be playing Halo. But none of the game modes are there other than you can play big team battle and like a Slayer type of, or not Slayer, but like a quick play.
Yeah, and quick play has like Oddball and Slayer in it, and like 4v4 capture the flag.
Yeah,
and like Zone Defender or something. I kind of want to talk about that new mode a little bit if you're cool with that. Like,
which one?
Like the fuel cell one.
Yeah, the batteries.
Yeah. What's your take on that mode?
So I kind of like it because it's a little bit like capture the flag in that you got to go out and like grab an objective and take it back to base, but it's a little bit less difficult than capture the flag can be, right? Like you always feel like you're either making or losing progress. You know what I mean? Like some CTF matches can really drag, like nothing's happening with the flags, everybody's like camping, everyone's turtling, but like that doesn't happen on the battery game.
Can I give you a very unpopular opinion?
Yeah, sure.
I used to love Halo back in the day when CTF didn't have a time limit. Like I love those like hour and a half long.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Games,
like that might be unpopular, but like I always love those games because like,
I love those games.
I've won some of those games.
Yeah, dude.
You know
like,
what I mean?
Like it's like, all right, man, we got to really change up our strategy because the shit we're doing right now isn't working, and we're just in a Mexican standoff. Like
exactly,
we got to figure this shit out,
strategy,
dude.
And that's what keeps
we have to
happening.
try something different. And like I feel like now that like and like Halo isn't the only one, you know,
right?
Guilty of this, and like I probably think we're in the minority of people who enjoy that.
Maybe
I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the Battlefield series so much, because Conquest is like a 45-minute commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, that's just fun, you know?
Right.
And I kind of like that mindset of we have to switch our strategy up and do some outside the box thinking because we're just hunkered down here right now and we're not getting anywhere.
Right.
Not, oh, well, you know, well, if we just score last before time runs out, we're good. You know what I mean? I don't like that mentality.
There's no strategy in that.
Yeah.
No, I agree, dude. Like, it's kind of sad because I've had a lot of tie games.
World War II didn't have like a time limit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like I'm sure
Hitler wasn't like, oh man, dude, we only have 20 minutes to capture this point, dude.
There's a difference though between the way Infinite is and the old Halos, right? Now you have the battle pass. Now you have people that want to make progress on their dailies. You know what I mean? They don't want matches that take too long now. You don't get any extra stuff for a long match.
But you could if they do it like MCC, right?
Yeah.
Like you could, like MCC. What's nice about Master Chief Collection, for those of you who don't know, is it literally rewards good gameplay. You get a bonus for winning. You get so. Let me start off at the beginning. You get base points for just showing up, for just playing the game.
Yeah.
You get bonuses for winning. You get bonuses for KD. You get bonuses for the medals you earn. You get bonuses for completing the challenges. You get bonuses for completing milestones in your career.
Right.
You get all of these little perks that basically no matter what you do, you're always rewarded for being a team player and playing the game to the best of your ability to win the game. That's what you get rewarded for in Master Chief Collection. I get rewarded in Master Chief Collection for killing an enemy Spartan while throwing a fusion coil in PvP. Like, what? What if I don't get a match that has a fusion coil on it?
Yeah, I know.
What if someone else is capping all the fusion coil?
Right.
Do I just join this match and not get any XP for it? Like, it just feels so bad.
It's
like,
not what we want. It's not what we want. I know that I want more from Infinite. Hopefully, I know right now the early release is marked as a beta, right? They're saying this is beta. The actual launch is still what is it, December 8th or something?
Yeah, something like
that. So like if that's the actual launch where they're actually going to release the game, maybe by then. That's where I draw the line, right?
December 8th, yeah.
December 8th. If they can make some changes between now and December 8th, I'll be happy. If they don't, if December 8th comes around and it's still where we're at today, I'm going to be like, what the fuck was the beta for then, right? Like, what did you do to improve during beta and release? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if you have this info readily available or top of your head, but I don't think they listened to the feedback from the flights, because if they did, we would have a different progression system.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what they did after the flights. They probably did bug fixing, right? They probably didn't make any kind of major changes, right?
You were in the flight, right?
Well, yeah.
Or you played it. How did the core game feel? Does it feel drastically different? Did you notice any technical glitches they may or may not have fixed since then? Or was it pretty solid back then too?
I felt like there was like maybe a little bit more bugs, but like it was pretty solid. Like I had fun playing the flights. And I was ready to just have more game modes, more maps. Like I just wanted more. And and that's what we have now, but it doesn't feel that different, right? Actually, the menus were super buggy in the flights. Like and that's all fixed now.
That's something. Something.
But other than that, it's like the gameplay feels the same.
Okay.
For better or for worse. Like it's solid still, right? Like it was solid before, it's solid still. But like I really do wish they would have kind of made those bigger changes to matchmaking and to, you know, how you earn points. They did, I think they did one thing. I think before you didn't get points like with your daily for matches completed, but
I mean,
now
you
you
pretty much
do.
don't get points for that now, right? I mean,
barely. You know, it's funny because 343 says like we don't
get 100 points.
Yeah, that's not many. They claim they want it to not be a grind. That's what their goal was, but yeah.
what was their barometer, dude?
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, okay, yeah, what do you mean? Because it's definitely a grind. Like everyone thinks it's a grind right now. So like you clearly you like it's you know what, that's complete bullshit, because it's completely counter to what they want to do, which is sell you boosts, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
like, talk about the boost price, dude.
So I don't know how. Okay, so what is it, like the battle pass is like $10, I think, right? And then like if you pay for the boosted
the battle pass
one,
is $20, isn't it?
Well, if you buy the boosted one, it's like $25 or something, I think, something like that. But the actual battle pass is like, it was like $10 or $15. And speaking of, they reduced the price.
Talk about the price reduction.
They reduced the price. So like it's crazy. They had a, you know how like mobile games you have to buy the coins and shit. Like they have like the $100 and you get like this many points, and then like the $50 and the $25 and the $10 and the, you know, they have all these different like tiers you can buy the points in. And like there was a $100 tier and it went down like $10. So like people that bought the $100 tier, like literally 2 days later, what the fuck, it went down $10 in price, and then everything else also scaled down in price also. So I think that was a bad move. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, what, isn't that BS? You don't think so?
It is BS. So what I think actually happened, are you a Game Pass subscriber or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay, Ben, I don't know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's everybody, right? Like I'm not a Game Pass.
It's like mine. I'm just looking on like my Xbox launcher now, right? And mine says the new lower prices, but it says save 10% with Game Pass.
Okay, no, yeah, so that might be cool, but I'm not a Game Pass subscriber.
Right.
So like,
that's why I was confused, dude.
Yeah, I'm really confused. Like I thought about it, but I just don't have a need for Game Pass. Like it's obviously a good value, and I don't deny that. I would
never get rid of Game Pass. It's too good. Also, it's really interesting to me. off topic, on topic.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer kind of alluded in an interview that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be an Xbox exclusive.
You know, is it
Xbox and PC? Sorry.
Okay.
But,
you know what?
But,
I would not blame them. They own Bethesda now. So,
but he did say in a way that it was. He worded it very carefully because he's a smart man. Like I think I talked about this in a previous episode.
Okay.
That I'm a big Phil Spencer fan. Like I think he's a good guy. I think
like
he really
him.
cares about. I think he really cares about
Xbox.
as a brand.
Okay.
But what I wanted to say was he did mention that Elder Scrolls 6 will be available to play day one wherever there is Game Pass available.
Wherever that includes PC, so
that includes PC, console, and potentially XCloud.
That's kind of nuts. If they put the next Elder Scrolls on Game Pass, that is nutty.
I mean, they probably are going to. I mean, Forza Horizon 5.
I can't believe how much they're putting into Game Pass. Like,
dude, Forza Horizon 5. Like, I know racing isn't your jam, but that game is a masterpiece. That game is an absolute masterpiece. Literally, from stem to stern, masterpiece. IGN gave it a 10 out of 10. Day one free on Game Pass. I'd pay anything to play that.
You know what's nuts? This is completely. I just want to contrast Game Pass versus Nintendo's bullshit they've been doing.
Oh, dude, terrible.
Did you see Nintendo's like online subscription thing where they give you like N64 games or something?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're really gonna charge like how much a year?
Yeah,
for N64 games,
it's crazy,
dude.
bro. Yeah.
And like, look at what Game Pass is doing in contrast. They're freaking releasing AAA brand new games and adding it to Game Pass.
And like bangers too, dude.
Bangers.
Like not like oh my god, look at this.
Forza. You're gonna Halo Infinite? Yeah,
Halo Infinite. Dude, like
these are first party bangers.
Like, even not first party studios are now on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like that game that just came out in September that I really wanted to play. Scarlet Nexus.
Okay, yeah.
That's free on Game Pass now.
Wow, Game Pass is so good.
It's crazy. I'm pulling up my app really quick because there was like two other.
How
games
much is it?
Game Pass?
Yeah.
It depends on which on which sub you get.
What do I need?
Right now, you can buy it for $1. So if you want, they're having
it's a
2
monthly
month,
or
yeah, it's monthly. So if you need it on one platform, it's $9.99, I believe, for PC too.
Okay.
But if you get Game Pass Ultimate for $14.99, you get Game Pass on Xbox, Game Pass on PC. And Game Pass on XCloud, so it also includes your XCloud subscription, which is kind of a big FU to Nvidia and their pricing.
Wow, that's cool.
But what's more important about Game Pass Ultimate, bro? For $14.99, you also get EA Play, so you get access to EA's entire library as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so like you get games like Madden NFL included, NHL included, Battlefields included. Not the latest because it's EA.
Yeah.
But like Battlefield 5 is included, Battlefield 1 is included.
That's nuts.
It's seriously crazy. Yeah, so like it's Back for Blood. It was Back for Blood.
Oh,
Back for
yeah,
Blood is free on the
that.
Game Pass.
That's cool.
Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
it's absolutely. I mean, like all of the gears is on there. MLB The Show. Like again, not a sports guy, but like. There are people who literally bought a PlayStation because that was, for the longest time, that was the only place you could play a decent baseball game, right or wrong. And literally, when that exclusivity contract ended and they got to go multi-platform, Microsoft put it on Game Pass day one.
That's
like,
great.
here, you don't have to buy it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's bonkers to me how good of a value that is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know you're against like subs and stuff, but
typically,
I think it's worth the weight in gold, dude.
Yeah. So for me, I'm kind of a deliberate gamer. When I buy games, I kind of like I know I'm going to be playing it. If I don't, I'll refund it right away, right? So like for me, I feel like there's still value in me buying the games individually. But like I'm probably gonna get Game Pass because of my son, right? Like I don't want to have to go out and buy him games that I don't like. I know what games I like, right? I don't know what games my son likes, so it's good if I get Game Pass. He can just play whatever is on there. You know what I mean? Like he can figure out what he likes.
Yeah, man. Like give him your One X or whatever, and just get a Game Pass Ultimate sub, dude. You'll both get EA, dude. with Game Pass Ultimate, you even get EA Play on the computer.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Like how crazy is that? Think about that. So you get EA Play on the computer and console, and Xbox Game Pass on computer and console, and access to xCloud from any device.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
Is The Sims on that? EA Play?
The Sims is definitely on that for sure.
Does it come with the expansions or no?
Let me
I'm just asking because if you know thing or two about Sims, dude, like if you have to,
Kelly loves The Sims.
I love The Sims too, and I play a pirated copy.
Oh my god!
Amanda's got the full thing. I was just like,
I do want to mention this. I do want to mention this really quickly.
Yeah.
But Bethesda's whole library is on there. That's Skyrim Special Edition, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, Doom, Fallout 3, Oblivion, all of the Wolfensteins, Dishonored 2, Dishonored 1. Like literally, the Doom Eternal that came out this week is free on Game Pass.
Jesus
like it blows
Christ.
My mind how good of a value that is, dude.
That's nutty, dude. I admit, it's pretty good, and I'm looking at getting it. Everyone says like, "Yo, this value is there." I'm just like one of those guys that's just I hate subs.
I have two friends. Okay, I have two friends, and one of my friends actually shops around. What's up?
I said he has only two. Friends.
Yeah. I mean, it do be that way sometimes, right? Like I feel as you get older, your friend group gets smaller.
I know.
Like
it's true.
there's definitely an inverse relationship to age and number of friends you have.
It sucks, doesn't it?
But my point for saying this is I have one friend who literally will shop around his music subscriptions to get the best deal. Like he's that stingy with his money, which is not faulting him. But like he's on Amazon Prime Music now to save an extra $2, even though he likes Spotify better.
Yeah.
But it's $2 to him.
$2.
He recently got Game Pass and said, "Yeah, I'm keeping this because the value is insane." And then I have another friend who has a ton of money. Like just saves everything. Yeah. Like just saves all of his money. Like doesn't see value in like upgrading his computer or getting a new phone or value in, even buying video games. So like he largely sticks to like free to play games like League of Legends and stuff like that because he just doesn't want to spend the money on games. He bought Game Pass and he's keeping it.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, that speaks to its value, right? Like, I mean, I can't argue against it. I just I know that I don't typically do a lot of game hopping. Like, I'll play kind of like one game at a time, like maybe two. So like to me, it just didn't seem like a thing that I wanted. But like the fact that these bangers are coming out on Game Pass, like Halo Infinite and all these other games, like it might be worth it, dude. Because like I typically do get the best games, right? Like the AAA like hit games, right? And if they're coming to Game Pass, why don't I? So it's so I respect Microsoft for Game Pass. It's pretty beast. So, but yeah, Halo Infinite, dude. Just to circle back to our topic, Halo Infinite coming out early. It's exciting. They need to fix it. December 8th. Hopefully they do.
You get the Sims 4 base edition.
Okay, yeah. If it came with all the DLCs, then it would be just busted. It would be because it's hundreds. It's like $800.
It's the Sims 4 Digital Deluxe, whatever that is.
It's probably like a couple of the expansions, like, and that's it. So, yeah, cool. But like, what I really wanted, if they would have offered all of them, I would have been like, okay, I'm done, I'm sold. But
I mean, you should be done anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I'm going to look into it. The savings
you could have made on just buying your coins from being a Game Pass holder, like so, just like the 10% discount you get on all Xbox and EA games is pretty cool too, right?
Oh, you get
like,
a
that almost
discount
pays
too?
For itself. Yeah, dude, you get a 10% discount on anything on the Xbox store.
That's kind of
like first party. Yeah,
you know what's weird though? It's like
party.
At some point, like, what games would you buy if they're on Game Pass? You know what I mean? Like,
so like that's the thing. Okay, so like here's what I did recently.
Okay,
so like this is kind of busted, right? Like I kind of wanted to play through Skyrim again, and like we've gone down the whole mod discussion, right? And like I'm not like super big on modding just because like it breaks the game.
Yeah,
and I don't want to spend more time fiddling around with mods than I am with playing the game.
Right.
Well, I was really interested in the Skyrim Anniversary Edition. if you primarily play on Xbox, and now you'll get some on PC, but this won't necessarily be as lucrative on PC as it is on Xbox.
Right.
But basically, just for playing games, like playing a game, getting a few achievements, doing certain challenges, like viewing a store page, or just doing certain things in video games, you get Microsoft points.
Yeah.
And then, if you're kind of like a average gamer, I'll say, like let's say you game like between 8 to 12 hours a week, maybe a little bit longer, here or there, you can get like a $10 Xbox gift card every month.
Yeah. Okay.
Just for getting achievements in games, just for being a gamer.
That's funny.
So the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, well, as you know, Microsoft owns Bethesda, so the Skyrim Special Edition is included in Game Pass.
Wow.
So I took the Xbox points I got from last month and bought a $10 gift card.
Okay, yeah.
And the Skyrim Anniversary upgrade was already on sale because I'm a Game Pass holder, so I got a discount on that.
Yeah.
So I used my points to buy a $10 Xbox gift card, and then I bought the Anniversary Edition upgrade with the Game Pass discount, and I got Skyrim Anniversary for $7.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool, dude. Wow. I got to give it to Microsoft and the Xbox team. They've been putting out like value.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. That's fantastic. It's really great compared to like, it's funny because like I think Sony came out with like PlayStation Plus first.
They came out with PlayStation Plus where they gave away 2 free games.
Yeah, but
and then
you had to be a subscriber at the time when they released them. You had to be a
subscriber, and they were games that were like I kind of akin it to like the Disney Vault. You know what I mean? Like games that's like, oh, we're bringing out Resistance 1. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
And Xbox does have that too. To be fair, they have Games with Gold, which is largely shadowed now by Game Pass. Games with Gold is basically just free games every month that you can download to your account, and you can own them regardless of your subscription status.
Okay, so it's like the same thing then. Well, it is, no, it's not, because PlayStation Plus, you had to be a subscriber.
Right. But again, these are games that are like,
yeah,
you're not going to have a big desire to play them, but it's still cool nonetheless.
Yeah. Can I ask you another question about it?
Sure.
So it's been a while since I've really been an Xbox gamer because I'm a PC gamer.
Wait. Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we do that, that store where I buy the Microsoft gift cards, you can also get Amazon gift cards on there as well. Yeah. So like you can earn achievements and get an Amazon gift card for them.
Nice.
That's cool as shit.
That is cool. So like, okay, if I'm a Game Pass subscriber, is that a separate sub than like Xbox Live is?
Or no. Game Pass Ultimate is just both now. So like I just pay $14.99. And I have Game Pass everywhere. I have Xbox Live, and I have EA Play everywhere, and I have XCloud.
I thought that was going to be the gotcha. Like, that's on top of Xbox
man,
Live.
I'm telling you, like, the value here is crazy.
Do you still got to pay for Xbox Live if you don't?
Yeah, it's $4.99.
Okay.
But it's basically, all right, that's the gotcha, right? So it's $4.99 for Xbox Live. But if you're already paying $4.99, why don't you just get the Game Pass
like
for
regular at least, yeah.
And
then like, or
and then have
Ultimate.
access to all this. And then if you're doing that and you play on PC or you want to play anywhere or you want EA Play games, you might as well just spend $14.99.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I can't argue with them. The value is there,
Yeah. I guess it's just depending on like how much of a gamer are you, because that $15, if for like an actual somebody that games, like that's their main hobby, like it is mine probably, like it's probably the way to go. It's a super value.
Well, I was kind of figuring it out too, right? Like if you buy, let's say you buy 3 games a year, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at $210,
Mm-hmm.
And then if you take that, that's already more than Game Pass for a year.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So like if as long as they come out with like 3 bangers on Game Pass a year that you're gonna play, that's the better value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
and plus like it's kind of like what you said the other day, right? Like and by the other day I mean like earlier in this call, like you don't know what games your son is going to like.
No, it's true. So that's what's great about like the for my son specifically, he could just play like a huge library of games right away.
So I want to touch on that briefly, so like, as you know, I have my friends over every Saturday.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be damned if I buy a Madden, but like, we were talking about football. You know, we were drinking, and then of course, like the dicks came out about like, oh, we should play Madden like in the olden days.
Oh,
I didn't have to buy it. I just went and downloaded it, and we played like
That's great, dude. Because I know I wouldn't be caught dead. I buying it because I don't want to support a reboot game that hasn't been like had any innovation in so many years and it's really scummy. But like I wouldn't mind playing it. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean, dude. Like like just things like that. It comes in handy so many times. Or like I said, like Kelly's kind of getting into gaming. You know, like there were so many games on there that I was able to download and have her play and not invest in them in case she didn't like them.
That's really cool. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, it used to be way back in the day. I don't do this anymore, and I'm sure some people still do, is like the GameStop thing where they buy the used games, they go to GameStop and return and like, or sell their games to GameStop for like barely any money. Like, I don't do that anymore, guys. I'm like an all digital gamer now.
Yeah, so am I.
I have been for like many years. The last physical game I bought was Breath of the Wild for the Switch, and it stayed in my Switch. What's up?
I think that's the last physical I bought too.
Yeah.
Maybe? No.
I think that's the last physical game I bought. And it's been in my Switch since I got it. You know what I mean?
The last physical game I bought was the Kingdom Hearts HD collection on PS4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it was like $14 on Amazon Black Friday.
Yeah, okay. But like it's a rare occasion that we go out of our way to get.
Like there has to be like I bought physical because of this reason.
Yeah. Exactly. There has to be a good reason because like I love being able to just download it down, real quick. Like the game just came out. I'm going to download it on launch and play it. And I don't have to worry about like
same way.
getting it in the mail. And like,
I'm also lazy. So like I don't want to have to get up, bend over and put a disc in, dude. Like, what year is it, dude?
I know. And then having to store all my games like in their boxes and shit, like everywhere. Like
I will say though that having a nice physical collection looks cool. So like I do miss that.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Like for me, I like people that have like a retro collection, I'm like, I respect that because like they didn't have digitals back then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, I don't really care nowadays. Yeah. I still have friends that are exclusively physical and it's because of the trade-in market thing. Like they still like being able to do it.
So
they like buying used games.
Let me ask you a question then too, because this recently came up in this argument for like digital versus not digital, right?
Right.
With the Grand Theft Auto collection.
Dude, I'm glad you're mentioning that because I did want to mention it.
So there are a lot of people who are saying now that, and I'm not like a super big Grand Theft Auto fan,
right?
So like this wasn't really on my radar, but like I still followed the like,
news. There's a lot of news.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto trilogy.
But Rockstar lost the licenses to like
a lot
nearly
of music.
all of the music in the game.
Yeah,
and like people are pretty upset about that.
They didn't renew the licenses, so they.
But like, if you had a physical copy of that game, right?
You still have. Yeah, exactly. That's the funny part, isn't it? One thing they did, even with Grand Theft Auto 5, was take music out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, say you bought it on Steam and you're playing it, they took music out because they didn't want to renew the licensing for those songs.
Wow.
So, literally, like, you don't have access to some of the music that was in the game at launch. Mm-hmm. They patched it out. That's stupid. But that's just that's what they did with Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if they did that for the console releases. Like if you update, you know how like you can update your console releases also. You might have the game physically, but you download an update. Do you think they patched it out of the consoles?
Probably. I think that games these days, and I could be wrong, like wrong on this, but I know a lot of games for a while that were doing that thing where like the disc just had to be in place, and then it downloaded the full game from the internet anyway.
Oh, I know. I hate that, though, because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of digital then? Especially because, for game preservation reasons, a lot of people buy physical. But like,
yeah, like
if they shut down the servers eventually, those games that are physical aren't physical, so you can't get the game at some point. At some point, the servers were shut down.
I think a good example of that is Cyberpunk, right? Like there are a lot of people who bought the physical version of Cyberpunk because they want to just
they want to have the physical game.
They want to preserve how it was.
Oh,
because like no, like just because there was a lot of graphical downgrades.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like how like there was like how like they cut back on like the fidelity and like the density of the city and stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like there were a lot of people who wanted to preserve 1.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hilarious. Did they do that out of an attempt to kind of stabilize the game, or?
Yeah, for just
because it ran
frame
like
rate
crap.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nutty. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So that was like day one patch. They like got it out.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. For me, like the GTA 5 trilogy or GTA trilogy with 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
Yeah.
I was excited for it. I went to look at it on PC.
Really?
I saw,
Are you a big Grand Theft Auto fan?
Yeah, I like Grand Theft Auto. You know, when I was a kid, I played 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
I like Grand Theft Auto, but like I'm not a super big fan. I mean, like,
yeah.
Admittedly, I've never played 3. I was at the midnight release for San Andreas because I think I worked at GameStop at the time.
Yeah, nice.
And like I bought it just because like it seemed hype as hell, but it just wasn't really my type of game.
I love sandbox games, so like I loved it. So.
The first one that I played was 4.
Okay,
and I don't think I played it to completion. I think I maybe played it to like 60%, and then I was like,
yeah,
all right, I see the appeal.
Same.
To this.
I didn't finish 4 either.
But 5 was the first one that I played to completion and loved.
Yeah.
Like, I loved 5. I thought 5 was great.
5 was
a
banger. Story, great
5
characters.
kind of made me want to go back and try the other ones.
Yeah.
But it's low on my prio list, right? Like, it's not like it's like...
Yeah. So, like, I'll say this. Like, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it with the trilogy. Or not now. Not probably in another 2 years.
Can we talk about the nut photo? Because
the nut photo, dude.
Dude, the nut photo... The nut photo actually had me almost on the floor dying.
I got it, dude. I'm gonna pull it up, dude.
Dude, pull up the nut photo, dude.
I'm gonna see if I can find. Give me a minute, dude. Like,
you know what I mean on the donut shop,
yeah,
right?
donut shop. Yeah.
The nut photo.
Yeah,
dude.
it's been getting the rounds. Oh my god.
I watched Game Ranks' video last night on it. I don't know if you saw it either, but I think it's Vice City, or maybe it's San Andreas. One of the two. There's just a map marker that exists in like Berry Field or something.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
Did you see that?
No.
So yeah, so like there's just this like map marker that's totally out of place. It has nothing to do with the game or nothing to do with the city, nothing like that.
Right.
And then someone found out that it's literally 0-0 coordinates on the map for X and Y, and they just left it in the game, dude.
No way.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Like they must have just been like marking the centerpiece internally, like where the center of the map is.
Yeah,
and it made it into the final release.
That's hilarious, dude. Oh my god. So I have the photo here that we were talking about here.
The nut,
tough
dude.
Nut donuts, dude. Yeah, it was on Reddit. They were like, some things don't need tessellation or smoothed out or more resolution, and I thought this was hilarious because it really just shows you the state of the game in a nutshell, because they smoothed out the nut. I thought it was so funny, dude.
They smoothed out the nut.
They smoothed out the nut, dude. So it's pretty funny because there's a lot of grammatical errors also, where they must have ran the posters in the game through an algorithm, an upscaler, and it spat out misspellings because there was a lot of, it was really low res. So,
I didn't see that, dude.
There were things that were like M's that got mistranslated to H's and stuff like that, and various other spelling mistakes. They did not like. Where's the QA for this game? Nowhere. Did you see the rain?
Oh, the rain is terrible.
The rain's
like
the
rain
worst.
is awful. Like there's no way anyone played the game and said, "Yep, this is how rain is supposed to be." Like no one said that.
It was absolutely bad.
The other thing I saw that was pretty funny, and like I don't know if you have a good example of it, but like key character models were just worse. Okay. Right? Like
yeah, like a lot of the characters were very bad, like cartoonishly bad. Like it's weird because the PS2 obviously looked worse, like from a graphical, like technology standpoint, but the art direction was solid, right? It was believable. And like the art direction in these new ones, it might be a technically superior game now, higher resolution, higher res textures, and maybe some modern GPU technology, right? Like graphics technologies. Ambient occlusion, things like that, but like the game, the art direction is just so poor to me.
Yeah, I did see though, and like this is coming from a Grand Theft Auto noob, so like I can't call it the character by name or anything.
Yeah.
But like you apparently do missions with like the same character throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
And like this guy would like in this one instance I saw like impersonate a cop, so he put on a police uniform.
Yeah.
But that version of him in the cop uniform they didn't do anything with. So he literally just looks like the old version. In this game, in this like super smooth game. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it really quick.
That's so funny, dude. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up some images just to kind of show off because this is like very, very funny stuff, guys. Like,
oh, dude, it's hilarious.
It's been hot. It's been hot. So there's I'm trying to find the rain in particular because if I could find something with the rain,
I have the rain in the video I'm going through now.
Yeah,
I'll pull that up.
Yeah, if you want to send me a link, yeah, thanks. I got it. But it's just really, really poorly done. So I'll go ahead and
oh, here it is. It's 7:52 in this video, which is when this guy gets in like this police uniform. They just didn't update his model at all, so he still has the old model.
So check this out. Oh wow, that's crazy. It looks better than the new guy.
The old model? Yeah, right? Right? So like
it's pretty funny. No, that's nuts. Yeah. He looks really wide at the top.
Yeah, wide boy, dude.
Yeah, this is how do you say this? Game ranks?
Yeah.
There's a lot of glitches and stuff to the game. The rain is just terrible. The arms are really goofy on bikes, I noticed. Yeah, the rain, look at this. They have like a weird thing where the rain like isn't shown in front of the bodies of water. But you can see it. Like here's the rain on the person, so weird. Right? Like anywhere there's water or ocean, it just clips. Like it's really weird how it just clips off the rain. And it's very pronounced. You see how bright the rain is?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
the first part of that video is funny too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw this or not, but they also mentioned that certain areas of the map, they don't have like edge detection or collision, so you could 100% of the time just immediately go to these parts on the map and just fall through the world.
Oh no!
100% of the time, repeatable. There's no glitches. There's no like, oh, if you stand here and jump in a corner, you fall through. No, it's literally you just walk there and you fall through because there's no edge detection or collision or any sort of indicator to say that there's world there.
Yeah. I don't have much more to say about it other than it's basically an inexcusable train wreck of a remaster. Yeah. And it's a huge disappointment as a fan of the games that, I played when I was younger. I wanted to kind of get the new hotness. I really did. But it's so bad that it's basically a meme at this point. Meme the game. I enjoy looking at all this content people are making, all the memes, more than I'm gonna like the game. So
probably, yeah.
It's pretty funny here. I hope Rockstar gets some shit for this because inexcusable to release this in its current state. Inexcusable. But anyway, dude, I want to move on to a topic because we've been dwelling on topics for too long. We got to make this podcast go.
We're good at that.
Yeah, we are. So I want to talk about YouTube removing dislikes. It's a thing. But
it's not
don't
in
like
yet, right? It's not in yet.
No. I think they're trickling it out. So they're not.
So would you say you dislike it, dude? Because it sounds like that's not allowed anymore.
You wouldn't know. So yeah, the thing about it is they're not technically removing the dislike button, but they're removing your ability to see how many dislikes are in a video. And if you're not an idiot, it's because of all the people that hop on these videos that, like, say these corporations put out a video, say they put out a trailer for a game, like say like here's a great example, Diablo Immortal or whatever it was called, right?
Sure.
Like the trailer for that probably had a ton of dislikes. So the ratio must have been crazy in the dislike favor because like people just like were upset about the situation. Like you guys don't have phone situation, right? So
like
people kind of dogpile the
I think
video.
that's a great example. I think that's a great example because like you have people who where Diablo Immortal could be a perfectly fine product,
right?
But they're just salty that it's not the product they wanted, so they're gonna hate on it.
And they're salty about Blizzard's like kind of reaction to the criticism. So everybody kind of just dogpiles on the video. dislikes it, and then like all of a sudden, it makes them look bad, and
That's a
like
really
the
great
company's
example,
feelings get hurt, and then they go to YouTube and say, "Hey, can you guys do something about this?" Or they just disable comments for the videos, like.
Yeah.
You already have these companies do that. Like on their videos, they put out they disable the comments.
I think
section.
Apple does that, don't they?
Yeah, probably. Right, because there's a lot of people online that are haters and go on there and go, "Oh, fucking Apple doing their Apple thing again," and then all of a sudden, like that's the comment section. Wow, and that's bad for perception. Same with the dislikes. You know what I mean? So it's bad for perception. So I think it should be opt-in, right? Like kind of. Like the the like to dislike ratio should be opt-in, kind of like the comments are opt-in. Like you can disable comments. These corporations, if they want to disable dislikes, then so be it. But I still think it's a bad move. I think it's kind of like it's not quite a freedom of speech thing. They can do whatever they want with their platform.
Right.
But I think it's just like everyone's coming out saying it's bullshit. Marquez made a video. I think. Linus from Linus Tech Tips, he put out stuff in his podcast talking about it, and everybody's agreeing that it's dumb. This is a bad idea.
What's their take on it?
It's basically, if I recall correctly, don't take my word for it. It was pretty much what everyone else is saying. It's a bad idea. And I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. I just remember they kind of agreed with us that agreed with me that it was a bad idea. And I think that even though there is the risk of companies getting the downvote kind of ocean hitting them, I think that criticism typically online is pretty valid, right? Like sometimes you get communities that will downvote things into oblivion. I know Steam, right? Steam has that where
I feel like there's a lot of herd mentality online.
Herd mentality. No, you're right. Yeah. And that's what happens like on Steam. I think they do things on Steam to kind of mitigate that, right? Like
I think
so I'm not sure exactly what they do. YouTube hasn't really had a mitigation for downvote, kind of herd mentality. Am I right? I don't think they have any kind of mitigation. Like the nice thing about Steam is like, say a game like what's the game that came out everyone hated and then they fixed it. No
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Thank you. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I did.
You knew that game is great now, and you can see they have two different. They have like overall reviews, and then it'll say like mixed or something or positive, and then you have recent reviews, which is like overwhelmingly positive or something, right? Like, so you have this like kind of time gated filter where it's like, okay, recent reviews say it's pretty good. So by kind of having that, you mitigate the herd mentality kind of knee jerk reaction stuff. YouTube can't really do that. So they're just like, we're going to remove the dislike. Creators can still see the like to dislike ratio. You can still dislike your videos, but it won't be public knowledge anymore. And I don't like the idea. I think that it's probably, the argument YouTube is making is, look at other platforms. They don't even have dislike buttons. You don't have a dislike button on like Facebook or like Instagram, you know what I mean? And I think that YouTube's better because it has a dislike button. I think Reddit is better because it has a dislike button. That's my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that the like dislike ratio is always correct, right? You know what I mean? Like if that's what people are getting from the like to dislike ratio, then they're wrong, right? Like I think that everyone should go out of their way to come up with their own conclusions about things. Right. So the like to dislike ratio should never influence how you feel about something because it might be wrong, especially because the internet's been wrong before. We've seen it, plenty of times. The internet's been wrong. So I think that it would be in YouTube's best interest to kind of reevaluate this, but they'll probably implement it anyway, and then we'll all forget about it was even a thing, right? Even regardless of all the creators coming out and saying like, this is a bad idea, But we'll see what they do. Maybe YouTube's listened to feedback sometimes before. We'll see, because when you have creators like Marquez putting out videos on his main channel talking about it, saying it's a bad idea, I think that if the big creators come out and against it, then they'll listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it though, dude?
We'll see.
Are you indifferent? Like pros and cons?
I'm not indifferent.
Like
I'm not indifferent. I don't think here's my take on it. I think it should be governed. I think that you should have to watch a video to like or dislike the video.
That's
I don't
a
think
great
you should
opinion.
be able to go on YouTube and immediately thumbs down the video without you even seeing what the content is.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that that you obviously need to give people a voice, because I think that everyone needs to have a voice. But I can also see people taking advantage of the situation, and I think that thumbs up or thumbs down should be only allowed for people who have watched a certain percentage of a video.
Yeah.
And YouTube already tracks that for analytics and payout, right? So that is something I think I would be okay with.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's a fair take on it. Is why are you liking or disliking a video when you just popped in? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I know I've done that for a couple creators. Like, I'll like videos like that. But like, typically I won't, even on the internet. Like, here's one thing I noticed. I'm on Reddit, right? So like, you can upvote and downvote. It's kind of my policy not to downvote things that I disagree with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
because
I rarely use the downvote button.
Yeah.
Like, I'll use the downvote button. It usually, if someone
is a jerk,
is attacking another person in the comment section. Like the argument has devolved from I'm having a different opinion as you to I'm now attacking you as a person. Yeah. That's when I use the downvote button.
I agree, and that's my policy on it. If I disagree with you, I won't downvote, because I'll leave it up to other people to act, you know, in the way they want to act. But if you're being not very respectful to other people, then I'm going to downvote you. Get out of here. I don't think that's unfair. So, But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Let's move on to the next topic, the last topic, because I really want to end it on a high note, dude. Nikon Z9. So you're very excited to talk about cameras, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't really covered it. You know, it's funny because whenever I ask you about Nikon, you said Nikon is dead, and now they come out with like some actual bangers. So like, what's the Z9 to you, and how do you think it compares to Canon and Sony?
Sure. So
it's mirrorless, right?
It's mirrorless. Actually, dude, it doesn't even have a shutter.
Oh yeah, so
bravery,
it's shutter,
dude.
Yeah,
bravery,
dude.
Yeah,
super.
So
brave.
which kind of means a lot, right? Because like those of you who may not know cameras that well, like cameras all are, you know, quick and dirty. Cameras about gathering light, right? And like even your A1, which you're going to shoot electronic shutter 99% of the time.
Yeah,
there may be that 1% of the time where you either have a lighting issue or something happens that you need to shoot mechanical.
Yeah.
Nikon is saying we trust our camera well enough that you will never be in that scenario.
Yeah.
That's
it's pretty good.
That's kind of bravery.
So the idea with the shutter being mirrorless, correct me if I'm wrong, is it basically it scans the image from the sensor top to bottom, and it does it so quickly that they just said we don't need a mechanical shutter, because typically the mechanical shutter would, I guess it kind of would sweep the sensor with light in a way where, you know, it tell me what the advantage of a mechanical versus
sure. So a full mechanical shutter, the main advantage of that is it's literally a mechanical first curtain shutter and then a mechanical second curtain shutter, which happens after the exposure.
Right.
And the benefits of that are, originally it was dynamic range. Okay. So when you read from a sensor fully electronically, you took a hit in dynamic range. We saw that with the first Sony A9, which was 2 stops behind other cameras, just because of the electronic shutter was just not capable of what a mechanic shutter could do.
Right.
Now, as someone who's not a sensor engineer, I don't know if that's because they had to build that shutter into the sensor, or if it was, you know, when the sensor readout came red from top to bottom, it lost some contrast on its actual, you know, spectrum of light that it saw.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning behind that, but anyway, the point we're at now is electronic shutters have gotten to a point, for whatever reason it is, that they are within like maybe 0.5 stops of a mechanical shutter.
Okay. So it's at the point where they're so good.
Right.
And they can be a lot. You can shoot a lot faster if you're not doing mechanical too.
Your rolling shutter operates at a frequency, you know, like your shutter speed. So if you're in a room with some really interesting, funky lighting, there could be a possibility that the shutter speed you're shooting at will cause banding.
Specifically with lighting,
specifically with fluorescent artificial lighting.
Yeah, so LEDs included. If you have a PWM dimmer on a lot of lights, I know that's why I don't run dimmers on my display cabinet lights, is because the dimmers that I have are all PWM dimmers. That's flickering the light on and off at a certain frequency. And cameras pick that up notoriously. So that's why I don't even bother with a dimmer, right? It's just 100%. There's no flicker. So cameras can handle that. So I appreciate that. But even like Randy is, his background is susceptible to flicker, right? Like I noticed that in, editing the podcast, you can't really see it here. But like editing the podcast, if I'm scrubbing through, I can see those bands happening.
Yeah. So to kind of close the gap a little bit, the other advantage is rolling shutter. So if you're panning or doing fast action, there is a possibility that the sensor may read differently from the top of the frame to the bottom of the frame. So if the action is different from the top of the readout to the bottom of the readout, you're going to get a goofy image. A good example of this that Sony likes to showcase all the time is a golf club swing, right? And that's something I'm kind of familiar with. So like
lately,
club head speed of a pro on their driver is probably north of 115 miles an hour. So, and like think of the angle of a golf club coming down. So if your electronic sensor readout is too slow, that club will be bent because it will be in a different location at the top of the readout than it is at the bottom of the readout. So Nikon is essentially saying that we have technology in our sensor that you will never have to worry about flicker, and it is fast enough that rolling shutter will never be an issue.
Yeah, so I respect it. So how fast is? So obviously, this is obviously a really fast sensor, but does that translate to actually images per second or whatever? What's the metric for that?
It
like
does.
How fast it can shoot?
It does and it doesn't. So like, there's a lot that translates into FPS. One of them is sensor readout speed. One of them is the stack sensor technology. The reason we see cameras, now being able to have all these really fast e-shutter things is because they literally build RAM on the back of the sensor.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of where your buffer is. And like the idea behind that is like even the electronic traces, if it was somewhere on the main board, would cause too much latency.
Okay.
Like these are really cutting edge pieces of equipment.
Sensory
like all modern
equipment.
cameras are.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, the Z9 is 45.7 megapixels. So roughly the R5, and it does 20 FPS.
20, interesting. You think it'd even be faster?
Well, again, it comes down to a lot more than just sensor readout speed.
Okay.
But I will say,
do you think they'll put that same sensor in a more expensive camera that's faster?
The Z9.
Yeah,
the Z9 is their flagship.
So yeah, interesting then.
So, but the Z9 has a mode that I'm really excited to talk about because everyone thought it was a gimmick.
Yeah,
but it's actually good.
Okay,
it can do 120 FPS burst.
Wait, what?
In photos.
What do you mean?
It can shoot 120 frames per second in photos.
How? I thought you just said it was like 20.
There's a catch.
Okay.
It's 11 megapixel JPEG only.
Oh my God. Okay.
But they're good. Wait,
really?
It's not
really?
Like it's not like it's a screen grab from video.
Is it cropped or no?
Blurry pictures. Well, it has to be cropped, right? Like it's. I don't necessarily know if it takes on like a DX crop where like your 24 to 70 would become like a 60 to 130. I don't know about that. I don't think it does that. I just think it bins pixels down to 11 megapixels.
Okay.
So you get the same focal range.
So it wouldn't be cropped
right.
It wouldn't be cropped. It's just binned.
But those pictures are good.
Really?
Yeah.
So
like they're totally used. Like when like I first read that spec and like when Jared Poland first read that spec, everyone was like, oh, it's just a gimmick to like market to like check to like make a checkbox that we technically have the fastest camera.
Right.
But those 11 megapixel files, like from what I've seen from a pre-production unit that I've never used, but I've seen people try out that mode, like they're solid files. Like they have dynamic range, they have depth of field, they don't look like a screen capture from a video. They look like high quality 11 megapixel images.
Wow. What's the resolution on 11 megapixel?
11 megapixels?
Yeah.
I think it's
I'm just curious because like I just wanted to I'm just thinking about video, right? Like I'm like translating it to video.
It's It's basically 4K.
Okay.
So it's basically a 4K image.
That's, I mean, sweet. You know what I mean? I mean, that kind of makes sense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It probably can shoot 4K video at 120, right? So
it can do 4K 120. It can do 8K 30, 8K 25, 8K 24.
Yeah. Can it do 4K 120 raw, like footage? Like,
no, but hold on.
It's almost like it could. Because,
wait for it, dude. It can shoot ProRes internal.
Oh, that's sick.
Right?
That's great.
Right, dude? It shoots ProRes internal.
That's
and in a later firmware update, we're getting 8K 60.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is really impressive. So, so 120, dude, I'd love to. How long can it shoot that? Like 120 frames, like
I don't know.
JPEG.
I don't know. Some people say continuously, but I haven't done any research on it.
But actually, I kind of believe it could, because JPEGs are kind of small, right? Like very. Yeah. So tell me this: are Nikon colors pretty good? Because like you'd be relying on Nikon's like color science.
So you know, just coming back full circle, right? Because I'm a camera nerd.
Yeah.
Nikon on paper has always had the best sensor, and that's for two reasons. One of the reasons is Nikon has always prided themselves on that.
Okay.
So they've always, chased dynamic range, chased sharpness, chased all that stuff. But Nikon cameras, the base ISO is also 64.
Okay.
So most cameras are 100. Fujifilm cropped is ISO 200.
Yeah. So that's nice with the base
ISO of 64. Now with some cameras, like you can go down to like ISO 50 and stuff, but like you'll see like a line on the top or bottom. Yeah. That's extended range. So that's literally the camera just digitally cutting exposure values. It's not actually altering the level of noise or the sensor sensitivity and extended ISOs.
Okay, interesting.
This is literally base ISO 64, and that's been like Canon's kind of call to action, or like, like this is what we pride ourselves on for a while. Nikon's colors are in my opinion, probably up there with Canon's. I think Sony's are not that good outside of the A1. I think that they've really changed their color science for the A1.
Right.
Although I tend to think, and you would probably agree with me just from editing some photos, that the A1 still has slightly some green shift, but not as much as the previous Sony cameras. So I think the A1 is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's in a good spot. A7 IV's probably got A1 color science, so it's probably about the same. Yeah,
my R2 and my A9, I was always adjusting tints because right out of camera they were some green boys.
Yeah.
And then you sent me some A1 raw files, and I was really impressed with how far they've come. Like I said, like there is still a minor green cast there, but nothing like it used to be. So I would go on paper to say that right now with color science, you're probably looking at maybe Canon has a slight advantage in skin tones, and maybe that's it.
Yeah,
it's very close, guys.
Yeah, which is great.
It's basically where I'm at. Right. Now, what is also really exciting about this is the new processor inside of the Z9, which has a really exciting name. I don't know if you saw the name of the processor, dude. Dude, it's really exciting.
Oh,
it's really exciting. Yeah. Let me get the exact name for you.
I have the Z9 page up. So this is the camera for those viewers out there. Okay. Unstoppable is what they say. Z9, you can see it's actually a full-sized camera, right?
So the processor is called the X-Speed 7. Which is kind of interesting because the processor that came before this is the X-Speed 6, which makes sense.
Yep.
The X-Speed 6 was literally unusable, almost unusable for autofocus and mirrorless cameras. The Z7 and the Z6 were just slow processors. Their autofocus was almost non-existent. You had to not rely on IAF at all. You basically just turned it off.
Right.
And now the X-Speed 7 puts it in the league of Sony's best and Canon's best.
Yeah.
So you would think that like a jump like that would get some exciting name, and it's literally just the X-Speed 7.
Yeah. So. No, I mean, as long as it performs, dude, I don't need a marketing name for it, dude. That's pretty cool. So, I mean, it looks like we have a huge comeback from Nikon. Mirrorless has been like a big play for a lot of these camera companies. You can see like a lot of people transitioning to mirrorless. DSLRs are kind of dying. Everyone's kind of going, at least from what I see. Am I wrong, dude? Like, what do you think?
About DSLRs.
Yeah, basically moving. We're all mirrorless. DSLRs are gone.
Canon has already come out officially and said that all of their new lens production is for RF mount. EF will still be supported, obviously, but don't expect any new EF lenses. Nikon, same thing. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Sony A mount lens come out? I mean, there's a lot of exciting things going on here with the Z9 body, and I want to talk about the price too, because you're basically getting on paper, right, a very, very, very impressive camera for the price. Like, this is cheaper than the A1. This is cheaper than the R3. And it's bringing some pretty game-changing features to the table.
Right. I mean, this is a very powerful contender, I think. It is cheaper. It is very capable. I think that the A1's going to beat it in some regard, but I think it's a competing product. You know what I mean?
As someone who's tried all three, not me, but Jared Poland has tried all three, and like I watch his videos. I watch a lot of.
I watch his too. Yeah.
I believe that he had mentioned that he feels that if like someone called him the carpet, he would say that probably the R3 has the stickiest autofocus.
Yeah.
And it's followed closely by the A1, but he said that the Z9 is now just right there with them, if maybe just slightly behind. And right. I can attest to the autofocus in my R5. I'm sure you can attest to the autofocus in your A1. Being slightly behind those is high praise.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. That's excellent, because the new
especially
cameras are
when
really
you came
good.
from. Especially when your two previous bodies basically didn't have eye autofocus or face detect or subject detect in them.
No, we're definitely in a new league now with the modern cameras. Like, the autofocus is reliable now. You can trust it. It's sticky. It's really, really good. The fact that Nikon came out of nowhere with this and really put out a competing flagship, I think, is good. Comes with the battery grip sort of included, right? Like, it's built in. Like, this is a full-bodied camera, which you love that. Like,
I love that.
I kind of said, like, I like the light bodies, right? Like, I like the option to throw a battery grip on it if I want it, but you prefer this, right?
I do prefer this through and through for multiple reasons.
Did you run a battery grip on your cameras previously?
Yeah, so especially the Sony, because like I feel like the Sony's ergos are just. This is going to sound mean, but I don't mean it to be mean. I feel like Sony makes great cameras and they make great products, but they aren't designed by people who use them. Yeah. They're designed by really smart techie people.
Okay.
So
makes
like
sense.
the ergos of a Sony camera was always miserable to me. Like,
they've improved because of the criticism, but like the A7 III that I had, everyone kind of criticized its ergos for sure.
Yeah, if like you get my R5 in the hand, you're like, all right, Canon wins the ergo game.
They do.
But
they do. So Sony engineers were like, we're gonna build something that's like thin and light, regardless of ergos. And Canon's like, nah, dude, we need it to be able to be gripped.
Yeah,
I respect that. So.
Especially like when you put like a really heavy lens on it, like the 28-70 f2, or even in your case, once you get your 70-200, like you've never really had a meaty boy on your camera.
Right.
Yep.
Not a big boy. Not like
weight balance is important, especially if you're a working pro and you walk around with your camera all day. But, coming back to the vertical grip, it brings a lot of features and functionality that I really enjoy in a camera. One of them being just increased battery life. Like if you're shooting a wedding or if you're shooting an event, having that whole bottom grip as battery is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
If you do any sort of work that you want to put on right away to Instagram, shooting in portrait, your width is now the exact size for Instagram.
Yeah.
Fun fact, by the way. So like if anyone out there is using a real camera and they're trying to frame their shot up for Instagram, if you just shoot in portrait mode, you're good to go.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Little pro tip of the day.
Nice.
When you have an integrated grip, they can mirror the buttons for that camera specifically. So like if I got a grip for my R5, that's also the grip for the R6. And if you got a grip for your A1, that's also the grip for the A7R4 and the A9 II.
Okay.
Right? So you may have buttons that those cameras don't, and vice versa. So you don't. So you kind of lose that muscle memory when you put an add-on battery grip onto your camera versus one that's integrated.
It's true.
And also just weather sealing. But ultimately for me on my Sony, I always ran the battery grip, and that was just because it's a lot easier to balance larger lenses.
Okay.
On a full bodied camera, and like I said, like if you get your 70 to 200 and you go and shoot an event, you'll go out and you're like, all right, man, I'm buying a battery grip. I see what you mean.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be
just
mega
having that
front
like
heavy,
extra
dude.
stability for your wrist and like your bottom two fingers, insane.
Yeah.
And then if you're doing a lot of like portrait work and you're
Yeah.
shooting in portrait mode, having those extra buttons,
Okay.
like holding the camera like this, you
Yeah.
have a lot more movement than holding the camera like this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like if you're trying to, get the lowest shutter speed possible, you have more control when you could lock this arm into your body.
Yeah.
Like locking this against your rib cage and then holding up and getting nice and tight is how you take steady pictures.
Okay.
Not holding it like this.
No, you're right. 100%. 100%. Bring it in, dude. I see that all the time. Bring it in. So, yeah, my opinion on the Z9 is I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that Nikon
We all benefit from this, right? You
exactly.
know what I mean?
That's how I feel. So, for a long time, Sony had just killed the mirrorless game. And then Canon came out of nowhere and just started to make banger cameras like mirrorless gods. You got the R5. I think it's honestly a god tier camera. And, they already make like god tier glass. So we already know, like, Canon, they're a great camera manufacturer. They kill it. And then Nikon to come out and finally have a competing camera. Like, we have great mirrorless options out there now in the full frame space. So I'm very happy to see this camera. And I think it's only going to be good for the consumer, right?
Really glad they kept the top screen too. I'm a big fan of the top screen.
Yeah. Yeah. You like that top screen there?
I have a top screen too. I mean, full disclosure. When I shot Sony and prior to me getting into photography, I always wanted a camera with a top screen just because I thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
But like, it's really nice to just have your camera in your bag or look down and see your settings.
Yeah.
And know like, all right, when I pull this out, I'm good to go.
Yeah. I wish I had a top screen.
Or like you can do cool stuff with it too. Like, I can't speak for different systems, but like you can set that as like a histogram. So like if you were in like if you're doing Astro, you can turn off your back screen so you're not light bleeding and just use that top e-ink display as your histogram.
Oh, that's cool.
What I mean? So it's like that's kind of cool stuff,
No, I respect that a lot, dude. I kind of wish that Sony had it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Small of a body though.
Yeah, I know. Smaller body.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been cool though. I love it.
Yeah, but this is exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. Oh, also because of, every integrated grip camera that I know of, the back buttons light up.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Right? So like if I get a battery grip on my R5, that won't happen. And it's just like a nice thing to have when you're shooting at night.
No, that's awesome. I don't think the Sony lights up at all. Shit.
No. So like Nikon's D series did, Canon's 1D series did, and now the Z9 does, and Canon's R3 lights up as well. So like all of the buttons are backlit, every single.
I wish the Sony had that. That would have been good.
But like I get it. It comes down to battery. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
so you got that big battery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it, dude. Come on, LEDs are like barely any energy. Come on, you can do it.
Hey man. I'm just.
Yeah.
Pointing out industry standards.
No, it's all good. It's all good, dude. Anyway, dude, you got any last comments on it? Or are we going to wrap it?
I don't. I'm just really excited to see, Nikon being back in the game, dude.
Nah, me too, man.
We all win from this.
Yeah, hopefully, I look forward to seeing the camera scene in a couple years, because it's going to be super competitive, I think. It's going to be really fun to see the back and forth you get between these three companies. Like, people are going to be one-upping each other. You know what I mean? It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Hopefully that translates into price so more people can get in and experience these amazing tools. So
I think we're going to see, just some predictions. I think that we're going to see bodies get a little bit more competitive in price again.
Yeah.
Which I think we need, right? Because like I think if Nikon is selling the Z9 for $5,400, and then Canon sells the R3 for $6,000, that's a
yeah, it's weird.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
So yeah, it'll be really interesting. I unfortunately think we'll just see the prices of glass could go up across the board.
Oh,
but I think we'll see bodies get more competitive.
Why is glass going up?
Because everyone sells it and it's locked into an ecosystem, right? So like if
so but like, isn't Canon coming out with like third-party RF lens now? Like,
they are. Like Sigma got approval to address the RF mount in
thank goodness
2022, and they have like 3 or 4 lenses on the roadmap for that. So like with third-party lenses, we'll see stuff happening, but I don't see first-party lenses going down.
Going down now.
Yeah.
Well, they just they outdo the competition for the most part. Like if you want the pro lens, you get the first-party lens.
Yeah. I mean, like
for the most part.
As good as Sigma's zooms are for Sony, like that new G Master is untouchable. It honestly
it's true.
is. Like if you're just looking for like if you have some extra money and you're looking to take photos,
yeah,
and get like pro grade photos of your son's soccer game, I would say get the Sigma.
Right.
But like if you care about quality,
yeah.
like
if you're a photographer, dude, unbelievably, you're gonna get it. Especially because I know for my camera, like I need a lens that can keep up with 30 frames per second, and the autofocus and everything.
I was gonna say that's something else that people don't realize too. It's like even if the lens is sharp, it doesn't mean it has the focusing system in place to keep up with the frame rate of your camera.
Yeah, it's with the A1 specifically, like I'd say unless you have the A1, like you're probably good. You know what I mean? Like the A1's kind of pushing these lenses to their absolute.
Or the A9 even.
Yeah, or the A9 even. But like if you're like the A7 R4 or you have like the A7 IV, like I think you're probably good.
Yeah, Tony Northrup did a video with the first 70-200 GM on an A9 Mark II, and it was dropping to 9 FPS because the lens just couldn't focus fast enough.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's weird.
Yeah.
Which lens was it?
The 70-200 Mark I.
Oh,
sorry.
the Mark I, yeah.
Mark I,
yeah,
sorry.
You said Mark II. I was like, no way.
Yeah, Mark I.
No way. Okay, yeah. The Mark I was a weak lens. I think a lot of people said that, so.
Yeah, I mean... you have to understand, though, that the 85-1.4, the 24-70, and the 70-200 was Sony's first dip in the water into pro grade glass.
It's true.
Right? Like those three lenses were the first time they've ever attempted to do it.
Not a bad first attempt, but
right.
You know
the second attempt is a hitter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, dude, let's wrap it up, dude. This has been Technesthetic. Thank you for listening, watching the podcast. Thanks for participating. If you liked it, give it a like, give it a sub, do all that stuff. Leave comments down below on YouTube.
Leave them, dude.
Leave them. Hey, if you're not on YouTube, check us out on YouTube or technesthetic.com, or you can email us directly and then chat with us. We'd love to hear from you and get some feedback and tell us how much you love the podcast. We'd love to hear that.
Let us know, dude.
Let us know. But anyway, thanks for watching.